everyone. It's Titio Ile on the line again. How you guys getting ready for Christmas? Because of the situation now, we've been talking about rural immigration for a while. Provinces inviting applicants to apply to become a Canadian through having a job. If you have an employer looking for employee, through that you can apply for the job, or you want to become a Canada through the nominee in one of the rural areas. But this time around, I decided to do this video because we are already in December, and Christmas is around the corner. The holiday season is around the corner, and I want us to take it easy on ourselves and talk about something a little bit different from immigration. It's still immigration, but at least not too much stressing ourselves or cracking our brains. This time around, I want to talk about the benefits of becoming a permanent resident in Canada. Like, if you have a status of a permanent resident in Canada, what are the benefits? One, you can live and work anywhere in Canada. You have the legal right to live and work in anywhere in Canada once you have your permanent resident status. But if you are being nominated in an area, you have to get it right that you need to stay, you are required to stay in the area for some time, for a while, because that is actually the reason why you were nominated. You were nominated in that area for you to fulfill the economic development in the country, in the province, for you to add to the value of the province where you've been nominated. But rather than that, you have the legal right to move from Montreal to Toronto, to move from Alberta to Toronto. You can move once you have your permanent residence status. That is if you were not nominated. Two, you have access to universal health care as a permanent resident status. With your permanent resident status, you have access to universal health care and social services, which means you can immediately have access to universal health care in Canada. There are some provinces that right away that you get in, you have access to this health care. Alberta, Manitoba, New Brunswick, Prince Edward, Newfoundland, and Labrador, you have access to universal health care right away. But if you are in Ontario, you will need to wait for 3 months before you have the opportunity to actually have access to these health care benefits. Rather than that, other provinces that I've just mentioned now, once you get in, you can have access to that right away with your permanent residence. And also, you can also sponsor your spouse or your children if with your permanent resident status. You can sponsor your spouse or your children, or even if you want to bring your grandma, your mom, your dad, you have opportunity to bring them in with your permanent resident status. And with that, when you're doing that now, it's very important to give them the facts of the reason why you're doing that, and you have opportunity to do that. And you also have opportunity to become you also have opportunity to become a citizen. You can become a citizen after 3 years, after you've resided in the country for 3 years, three or more years. Then you have the opportunity to become three out of 5 years. After you've resided in Canada for 3 out of 5 years, you can have opportunity to become a citizen. I've said 3 out of 5 years because sometimes some people come in and they don't want to settle right away. They come into the country and they leave the country for other purposes. But within 5 years, you are obliged to have lived in the country for 3 years. Then you have opportunity to become a citizen. And five, you have for school. If you have children that are going to school, education in Canada from before age 18 is actually publicly funded. That means it's funded by government, and your children can go to school on a publicly funded schools. That's an opportunity for a with your permanent residential status. Your children can go to school, but above 18 now, if you want to go to post secondary school, or you have your children going to post secondary school, with this status, it's much cheaper. The cost is lower being with the permanent resident or being a Canadian. Excuse me. The cost is lower than international students. For example, in Brock University, per course, per credit for a Canadian citizen or with your permanent resident status, you can pay like $1,000 per course credits. Whereas for an international student, it could be up to 5,000 per credit per credit course per course credit rather. But all I'm saying is that it's much cheaper for a Canadian or with your permanent residence status to go to school, to go to post-secondary school. And at the same time, talking about taxation as a permanent, number six, talking about taxation as a permanent resident, you need to pay tax. We need to pay tax to the government. That tax depending on your income. You are being taxed on your income. You are not taxed for your assets. For example, if you have other assets that you bring into Canada, government will not tax you on those assets. They will only tax you on the income that you are making in Canada. And there are two types of taxes regarding the provincial and federal tax. It's divided into two. So it's like the tax is based marginalized. It's a marginalized taxation system that we operate in Canada. It's provincial and federal government taxes. Another advantage, if you have a permanent resident status and you are over like for your retirement age, old age security, you have opportunity to earn money from the government. This is actually for low income earners that are not making much money and they are actually retired in this country. If you're retired in this country and you're not making much money, there's a threshold on retirement benefits that you get from the government. The threshold could actually reach up to like $1,000 in a month. So you have the opportunity to have the $1,000 as much as you have the permanent resident status. You can do that. That's very important. And minimum, you can entitled to collect maximum guarantee old age supplements. It's just like a supplement, but this supplements, government believe that if your retirement you need this, and this is actually in place if you are a Canadian or with your permanent residence status. And in a short while, there are so many opportunities going on these days. Government has actually announced in between now and 5 years, Canada is expected to add additional up to 1 million immigrants. So every avenues now, there are different programs running across the country for immigration purposes. So you want to look into the program that fits your status to be able to apply, and I wish you good luck. And you can, if you like this video, you can like this video. Your subscription will be well appreciated. Subscribe to our channel. It's Diamonds Mind Oye. Our email is diamondsmindoye@gmail.com. diamondsmindoye@gmail.com. My name is Titi again. I wish you good luck. Peace.